Hello and welcome to Americans Learn. My name is Lauren and today I'm going to be looking at Sam O'Nella's video, Zhang Zongchang. I have no idea if I said that right, but I'm excited to find out. I'm sure he will let me know within the first minute of this video. If there's anything else like this that you'd like me to react to on this channel, do go ahead and let me know in the comments below. And I don't really want to waste any more time, so let's get going. Let's learn about this guy.
Hey kids, today I've got another character study for you all, a man known as Zhang Zongchang. In 1881, he was born into poverty in the Shandong region of China. His father was a head shaver, not a barber mind you. If a head shaver is a barber, then a ditch digger is an architect. He also moonlit as an alcoholic. His mom, meanwhile, was a literal practicing witch and exorcist.
All right, starting out strong with the exorcist witch and the alcoholic dad. The head shaver is to a ditch digger as a barber is to an architect, I guess. So he's saying he didn't do a good job with shaving the head.
Already a recipe for success. Zhang joined a group of roving bandits at age 20, as one does, right around the Xinhai Revolution, where the Qing dynasty was overthrown and the Republic of China was established. But in 1916, the kidneys of the nation's widely disliked monarchist leader done shat the bed, causing a power vacuum that ultimately led to what is known as the warlord era of the Republic. During this time, different regions of China were constantly shifting hands between a collection of separate military groups, all of whom were ruthless both to each other and to the people they ruled over. And through charisma, favors to the right people, and a keen sense of military pragmatism, our humble highwayman soon came to be one of these warlords. Now Zhang
somehow I'm not, fully surprised. I mean, it does seem to be a pretty direct path, from being a highwayman and violently robbing people to being a warlord. Violently robbing people.
Was quite skilled as a leader of war. After the Russian Civil War, he recruited thousands of fleeing white Russians, not beverages, but Bolshevik butchers, which bolstered his battalions and brought big bonuses to his bloodshed. He also made efficient use of armored trains, which proved to be highly cost-effective at
That is the worst thing I think I've ever seen. I really, really hate that image. I hate it. I hate it so very much. Oh my god, I need it as my wallpaper.
Transporting large amounts of troops and supplies. But that's not what you people care about. You want some clownage. Well, rest assured, Zhang was quite the character. Now, we all know the age-old debate between positive and negative reinforcement. On the one hand, if you treat people well, you'll probably get the same treatment back later down the line. But on the other hand, nobody's ever taught a tiger to jump through flaming hoops with just pets and temptations. And if you think that's messed up, that's because, well, yeah, it is. Circuses are fucking evil. But like all great leaders, Zhang knew how to appropriately apply both the carrot and the stick. As an example of the former, he defeated the forces of enemy General Wu Peifu largely by convincing members of his army to defect, with the promise that they could keep their original rank after switching sides, which he fulfilled. But then he was like, yeah, I don't know if my loyal men would be too happy about being outranked by strangers. Well, only one solution here. All my guys are ranking up. Problem was, so many officers were promoted that Zhang literally ran out of gold and silver to make new insignias. He was like, I gotta think about this. Went out for a smoke, looked down, hey, wait a minute, and had the rest of the emblems made out of the colorful foil found in cigarette packages. It said that during the
I mean, needs must, right? Necessity is the mother of invention. Like, Sure.
promotion ceremony, people would look down and notice their little star already had a rip in it before the event was even over. But hey, there's still a colonel or poobah or whatever now, they can't complain. On another occasion, he proudly announced that he would either win an upcoming battle or return home in his coffin. And though Zhang was many things, he was not a liar. So after he ended up retreating, his men paraded him through the streets in a casket while he waved and sheafed on a cigar. So you're probably
I love it. That's wonderful. It's like, well, I said I'd come home in a coffin, so I guess I'm not dead. Might as well. All right. Letter of the law. I love it. I love it. It's like, oh my god, he would, like, be a great genie. Like, with the djinn wishes or whatever. It's like they always kind of, like, letter of the, all right, well, this is what you said. Like, I'll do exactly what you said, but ignoring the spirit. I love it.
Probably wondering why they called him the dogmeat general. At this point, my head was swimming with lurid fantasies about him eating dog flesh, or wearing dog flesh, or eating dog flesh. Turns out, nah, he was just real into pai gao, of which the act of playing was colloquially referred to as eating dog meat. and also because he ate dogs. He was also sometimes jokingly referred to as the three don't knows, since he didn't know how much money he had, how many concubines he had, or how many men were in his army. While funny, there was some truth to the nickname, which did sometimes cause issues. Some were minor. For one, he had a lot of trouble remembering the names of the 30 to 50 women of all nationalities in his harem, but he got around this by just assigning them numbers. Number 4 is real flexible, 27 makes a killer quiche, watch out for 14, she's a biter, and so forth.
Oh my god. All right, I mean, he got good enough to get concubines, I guess, but like, good lord. I guess that would not have been something that I would have considered for like a random warlord having a lot of, like, having a harem. I don't know why that wouldn't occur to me, but it did not occur to me that that might be the
Other
case.
times, things got a little more dire. Later in his career, Zhang became the military governor of the province of Shandong, and while the warlord life suited him, domestic affairs were another story. Rampant human rights violations aside, the whole thing was just way
Okay. Brutal and ruthless makes sense. Starting as a highwayman, he was notorious for his hobby of splitting skulls of prisoners with his sword and hanging dissidents from telephone poles. Yikes. Of course, they were forcibly seized, not surprised. And Shanghai's criminal gangs and the drug trade. All right, so he's a mob boss. Okay.
poorly managed. For example, while Zhang did collect taxes on everything from theater performances to tobacco examination licenses, relatively little of his extortions went towards his war efforts or anything practical, with most of it being funneled into vanity projects and his own personal riches. So how did he fund his army? Well, for those playing at home, it's time to take a shot, because Zhang printed tens of millions of dollars worth of paper money in the form of military stamps with no reserve to back them up. Obviously, massive inflation ensued, but Zhang just said no, insisted the stamps had a 1-to-1 conversion with real money, and continued paying his men at the same rate. Fortunately for them, the invisible hand of the market is no match for the very visible fist of the soldier, because they just kick old merchant ladies' asses till they accepted the currency at face value. But unfortunately, kicking old ladies' asses can't solve everything. In the summer of 1927, Shandong was hit with a famine caused primarily by drought. At the time, many people prayed to Zhang Xian, a folk deity, in an attempt to bring rain to these crusty lands. But Zhang Zongchang, he don't get on his knees for nobody. He walked right up to the statue in Xian's temple, starts bitch slapping it, tells it to go fornicate with its sister, and then has his artillery crew fire shells straight into the sky for hours on end to show that god who he's dealing with.
Oh my god. Oh, that's so good though. Oh no. That is objectively funny. Like, I don't want to find anything he does funny because apparently of all like the warlord and the crime stuff, and but like, that's really funny. Like, what's this guy? Okay, I mean, if he gets struck by lightning, then I guess this god has a new follower in me, but like...
Sources differ on when the next rain was, but it did eventually rain, so in the end, Zongchang got the last laugh. Speaking of which, our boy was also a renowned poet. Here's a piece he wrote about that very event. The sky god is also named Zhang. Why does he make life hard for me? If it doesn't rain in 3 days, I'll demolish your temple. Then I'll have cannons bombard your mom. Truly pathetic.
That's amazing! I mean, it's a good threat. I love it, especially because he actually did do the cannon thing, so he followed through.
Got a few other good ones too. Let me just dim the lights real quick. Yeah. This one's called Visiting Mount Tai. From afar, Mount Tai looks blackish, narrow on top and wide at the bottom. If you flipped it upside down, it would be narrow at the bottom and wide on top. I like that one a lot, because it's like he heard about metaphors without realizing they're supposed to have a second meaning. This one's titled Poem About Bastards. You tell me to do this, he tells me to do that. You are all bastards, go fuck your mother. Poignant. But unlike most poets besides E. E. Cummings and Emily Dickinson, Zhang was quite well endowed. He was often referred to as General 86, as when Zhang Jr. stood up straight, he could reportedly reach the length of 86 Mexican silver dollars stacked atop one another. Given a thickness of 2.4 millimeters, this would put him at around 20.6 centimeters or 8.1 inches. That's especially impressive given that he was likely malnourished during puberty due to both poverty and the 1896 famine. You racists.
And I love that that is like what he's known for now. He's known as the general with a big dong. Like,
I thought of a few other jokes about this, but I couldn't fit them in the narrative, so I'll just rattle them off. Should have been called the horse meat general. When he got out of the pool, he was General 12. This one just says dong hung dong. You get the point. But all great things must eventually come to an end. After suffering a series of defeats at the hands of his enemies and a subsequent failed rebellion against a quickly reunifying China, Zhang was forced to run away in 1928, bringing his mom with him to Beppu, Japan. His time here was relatively uneventful, except for when he shot a former prince in the back for trying it on with one of his concubines. In court, he said the gun just happened to go off while he was pointing it at the center of the guy's mask. For some reason, they're like, nothing suspicious here. Gave him the choice between 15 days in prison or a $150 fine.
What? I don't know, officer. It just happened. It was magic. My mom's a witch.
He chose the latter. Zhang's story finally came to an end in 1932 when he went back to Shandong not as a conqueror but as a visitor. Unfortunately, it seems it takes people more than 4 years to get over murder because he was unceremoniously assassinated by the nephew of an officer that he had executed. All in all, Zhang left behind quite a strange legacy. Given the litany of horrible crimes that I've seemed to kind of gloss over, he's generally regarded as the stinkiest stain of an already messy portion of the tapestry that is Chinese history. The only remaining question is if one can truly separate the art from the artist. During his rule, Time magazine described him as China's basest warlord. I'll let you decide whether or not they forgot the DE. That's all for today. Till next time, I'm Salmonella, and I'm hiding in your fridge.
Oh, that explains a lot about my fridge, actually. Such as how certain things just keep going missing. I mean, I guess I can't be too upset if he's like, you know, making sure he stays alive and nutrient filled by... We're not going any further with that. We tried. We tried it, y'all. We tried a joke. The joke did not work. It happens. We get over it. We survive. We continue on. We are Americans. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm tired. Is what it is. I'm very tired. And thus, a little bit nuts. But that was Salmonella. So if there's anything else like this that you'd like me to react to, please go ahead and let me know, and I will get to it probably as quickly as I can. I really liked the poems. Those were fun poems. I've talked about poems before on this channel, about my Game of Thrones poems. They're haikus, and at least one of them is told from this perspective of Sandor Clegane. You know, at some point, people want me to. I know a couple people have said yes, but like I'll read them out. I'll tell you all about my poetry. It's all nonsense, just so you know. It's similar to what General Dogmeat was writing. It's a lot of nonsense in my poetry. Mostly they're just purely ridiculous. But hey, and like I said, anything else like this you want me to react to, I will do it. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you go give Salmonella some love as well. And I will see you in the next one.